Hey, what's up, guys? This is Campionato TV. I'm getting on YouTube over here to talk about the latest transpirings of the Serie A season. We're going to talk about the Europa League, and we're going to talk about the Conference League and Champions League. But we got to give a round of applause to AC Milan, the current champions of Italy. The last time they were champions of Italy was in 2011. So you guys know, I didn't think they were the strongest team in Italy, but they got the job done, and you got to give credit to them. From the first minute today, AC Milan, they were all over Sassuolo, and I was getting a little nervous for them because they missed a lot of opportunities. And usually when you miss these opportunities, you don't get other chances, and you end up paying for it. So, but they kept going, and they were ferocious, and they ended up scoring 3 goals in the first half, and played out the tie in the second half in typical Italian fashion. You got 3-0 lead. No need to score any more goals, see the game out, and they did. So congratulations to them. And we can't wait to see what they're gonna do, what Napoli's gonna do, what Juventus is gonna do, and what Inter gonna do in the Champions League next year. So go AC Milan. On a bad note, the teams that got relegated were Genoa, Cagliari, and Venezia. So they're going to be going to the Serie B. And that's how it is in football. That's how it is in football. That's the way it should be. They have the least amount of points, and they're going to go to the B division and give somebody else a chance. They'll have to claw their way back up. So, having said that, that's going to wrap up the Serie A season for us. We like to give a congratulations to Frankfurt for winning the UEFA Cup earlier this week. Congratulations to them and their fans. We like to give congratulations to Manchester City. They won the Premier League. Also to Bayern Munich and for winning the Bundesliga. Real Madrid for winning La Liga, and PSG for winning the League One. So that is next Saturday will conclude club play for the year in Europe. It's going to culminate with the UEFA Champions League final, Real Madrid versus Liverpool, and I think it's tough to pick. So I really don't know which way this tie is going to go. It's a tough tie. I really don't know. Maybe before the game, I'll give my prediction. I got to see what's going on with injuries, but it's going to be a tough game either way. I hope Real Madrid wins because we have Mr. Ancelotti's the coach, and But before that, we're going to have the UEFA Conference League. We're going to have Roma versus Feyenoord. Obviously, we want the AS Roma to win so they can get into the Europa League. But I'm sure it's going to be another tough game. I don't know much about Feyenoord, but I know that AS Roma, they played yesterday against a tough Torino side, and they really put the smack on them 3-0. So they played yesterday. They should have enough time to relax and get prepared for that game. And if you want to watch a good game, you need to watch the UEFA Conference League. Roma, they have not won a European Cup ever. And their fans are going to be going to this game. They're going to be pumped to win this thing and bring it home to Italy. not that it's the best European Cup, but hey, something's better than nothing. So look for look for the Conference League game midweek, and then the Champions League next Saturday with Real Madrid, Liverpool. That's going to conclude the league, the European leagues. But before we move on, I just want to say that Mbappe, I don't know all the details, but I saw that he re-signed with PSG for like a $300 million sign-on bonus and a $100 million a year salary after tax. And if all these details are right, he's able to he's able to help pick the coach, and to have say on what players are brought in. All I gotta say is, talk about selling out as a club. I mean, Mbappe, he's a good player and all, but I mean, players are not supposed to be bigger than the clubs. This kind of money is absolutely absurd. 100 million euros after tax salary. How does PSG afford to pay all this money and nobody has anything to say? I got to read up on this financial fair play, but this is unbelievable. What does Messi make? He makes like 50 million euros a year. I'm sure Neymar probably makes close. But how can they afford this in this little stadium that they have? They're not winning the Champions League. The only thing they're winning is the Uber Eats, League One. It's like the 5th best league in Europe. I mean, I don't understand how they afford to pay all these players. I don't see that many PSG jerseys around where I live, people wearing them. I mean, I don't blame them. I wouldn't want it either. It's not a really nice looking jersey, but I don't get where they're getting all this money. And I really like to know how this financial fair play works, because this is ruining, in my opinion, football. Teams won't be able to compete because these clubs that have endless money, they just make these ridiculous. Mbappe is not going to play for another club ever again because nobody's going to pay him that kind of money. Nobody. So when he's 30 years old or whenever his contract's up, what does he think? Somebody's going to pay him 150 million euros a year after tax? You're crazy. So I don't know where his money's coming from, but all I got to say, these clubs with all this money, who knows where it comes from, it is ruining the sport. Manchester City's another one. This is not what the sport is about. Back 20 years ago, teams had money, they could spend money, but it was more on development of the players and to make a great team, with development and, plugging in some other pieces. Not what it is today, 100 million euros after tax for this guy, 50 million euros for this guy. It's absurd. It's absolutely absurd. But anyways, that's my 2 cents on that. I think PSG would be the first club to have to say that their players are bigger than the club. They're actually bigger than the club. If you hire a player and pay him 100 million euros a year and a $300 million sign-on bonus, and you have him give say to the coach and what players are on the team, then I mean, he's the king, I guess. I don't know. So that's pretty much all I have to say today. Want to say congrats. It was a great season in Serie A. I think it was one of the best leagues in the world this year. Inter won it last year, Juventus the year before. This is what makes the Serie A so beautiful. You don't have these teams with hundreds of millions of dollars to buy all these players. This is when soccer intelligence comes into mind. Paolo Maldini, of all the champions in Europe this year, his AC Milan had the lowest salary. You know, like, his salary payroll for the players was the lowest. And he won the Serie A, which is freaking tough, you know, to win that. So, I know they didn't do that good this year in Champions League. They've had some injuries. They're not that deep of a team. But with the money they won from the Serie A, I have to believe they're going to do some reinforcements, and they're going to take the Champions League more serious this year, and we'll see what happens. But I'm expecting that the 4 Italian teams are going to do good in Champions League next year, and we'll see what happens from there. So leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll check back in with you next week with our Champions League predictions. After the league concludes next week, we're going to start talking about national team. We're going to start talking about national team games over the summer. Italy, they got 5 games coming up in June. They're playing Argentina in the clash of European and South American champions. Then Italy's playing in the Nations League, and they're in what I consider the group of death: Italy, Germany, England, and Hungary. So we'll have more on that, but make sure you subscribe to our channel. We love you. Go AC Milan. And subscribe and leave a comment. We'll see ya.